Hi there, it's Pat Williams here from TKOdocs.com. Today I'm going to show you our new import from library feature. This is it on screen now. I'm opening up our import from library dialog and I'm simply viewing all the content in the library, and as I click on a document I can view the document and then I can select off which documents I want to import into our system. So this is a much improved layout. It means you can look at content much easier for importing it in, and it allows you to do it from two areas. You can do it from the front end, which is what we've just done there, but you can also do it from the back end as well in terms of when you're in the editor. So for instance, if we were to add a new document, let's say we create a new role, we might call it, say, salesperson, and we want to use our library to bring in a salesperson role. First of all, to check to see if it's in our library. So we'll just bring up the editor now. Instead of writing out the content ourselves, so we simply click on the import from library button and then we choose the library that we want, which is the role and job description library, and then we select the role and job description that we want. We can visualize the document before importing it, and then we simply click return selected, and that imports that document into the editor, and from here we can then change it and do whatever we need to do with it. So that's how you can use the import from library feature. The main difference, as I said, is the fact that you can simply view the content before you insert it into your system. Now, one of the other benefits of this new dialog is that we can also build manuals from this. So here I am building a manual, and this time instead of showing our libraries, it's actually showing you all the content in your system, and you simply check off the items that you want to include in a manual. And it's just as simple as you can see on screen. You give it a file name, and then you give it an output title, and then you click create manual. Very simple arrangement, and you just, once it's completed, click on that. So that hasn't changed a lot. It's mainly the fact that we've got this much improved dialog to allow you to actually choose which items are to go in the manual and to visualize those before you actually select them. So it's a big step up from where we were before. Now, the other benefit of this import from library feature is that, and we'll get to that in a sec, is in relation to creating lists as well. And lists are a very important part of the documentation process, where you can actually create a linked list and associate it with any particular document. And I'll show you in a moment just how easy that is to, for instance, create a job and role description and then associate policies and procedures and tasks to that role, and then to actually create a manual. So I'm just finishing off here. I've created another manual which just showing you how you don't have to select all documents in the system. You can just select off certain categories. So that covers the manual, but now let's get into actually creating some lists as well. So for instance, we're sitting on the salesperson role at the moment, and we're going to create a manual for this role, but first we're going to add some documentation or lists of documents to relate to this particular role. Now, because this is a salesperson's role, we're going to obviously select all the documents that are in relating to that particular role. So we're just creating a list, and we're going to give it a caption. So we're just saying related tasks and procedures for the top of the list, and we're going to give it a style. So there's 4 styles there: table list, step-by-step list, bulleted list, and horizontal. So there's our step-by-step list that we've created, and as you can see, we've selected 3 documents. And you can also sort those documents by just unlocking, using that little padlock icon there. You can unlock it and sort. You can also update the list by clicking on that chain link, and that will bring up the dialog again, and you'll notice that the existing ones have been highlighted in blue there. And now we're just going to select off some other documents that we want to add to that list. So let's say we select these 3 here and we return. And as you can see, it's now updated that list with those 3 extra documents. Now, the beauty of this system is that now that we've assigned that to that particular role and job description, we can now actually create a manual from that based on those selected documents. So we simply click on Job Role Manual, and as we bring up the dialog once again, you'll see all the existing documents have been checked off, and we can then simply click Create Manual, and it's automatically given the manual a name and title, and we'll just create that manual now. So this is going to create a manual just for the salesperson's role, and it's finished, and we click here just to have a look at that. By the way, your logo, once you put it into the system, will appear on the front cover page as well. So as you can see, this has created a manual just for this particular role. So this is handy if you're employing people into a role and you want to induct them into that position. You may even make it part of an employment contract. Now, the other point here too, while we're here, we can also assign staff to that role. So we can just assign 1 or more staff to a particular role, and you can add users now on the fly. So that pretty well covers how that dialogue system will work. Just one other change we've made too, just making it easier to select different types of documents here. You can also upload files from the front end instead of going into the back end like we used to do. And you can also replace files much easier simply by clicking the replacement button at the bottom of a file page. So that concludes that introduction to the new features. Thanks very much for watching.